Now, my favorite panel of the day. I don't know if you're, as a moderator, is allowed to have a favorite panel, but I do. And we have invited scale-ups that I think are, in their own rights, all of them, really, really mind-boggling. The way they create, the scale at which they create, and how they address scaling a business. So I'd like to welcome up Isabella Löwengrip. Very welcome. Top blogger, creator of an empire with both retail and media and investments. Isabella, you are going to get good company from Elina Berglund, the founder of Natural Cycles, that just raised an awful lot of money, and you are completely transforming how contraceptives and fertility works with the Natural Cycles app. Please have a seat. We are going to have Juan coming on stage. Juan Urdiales, the founder of Jobandtalent, one of the fastest growing companies on this stage today. Very welcome to Stockholm. Please have a seat. And last but not least, Veronica Hedenmark. She's founded 7 companies. They're all going really well, and she's a force of nature. Veronica, very welcome up on stage. I'll steal a hug. How are you? Hi. So I'm absolutely ecstatic. Thank you very much. So just what I would like to start with, just 30 seconds, all of you, what are you doing? For the people that are not knowing, the elevator pitch, what is Isabella Löwengrip and your growing business doing?
I'm doing a lot. I have, first of all, I'm the biggest influencer in the Nordics with 1.5 million readers. But I also have a couple of business, and they are growing. One is a beauty company that's like the fastest growing beauty company here in Sweden. So it's very fun.
And what is the brand you're allowed to say that? Get some new customers.
Yeah, it's not SVT. So it's called LCC. It's Löwengrip, my last name.
Yeah. And you're also moving into Saudi Arabia and Germany and all kinds of other countries with both the media company and with investments and retail.
Yeah, everything is growing. So the blog and the channels are translated to a lot of languages, so also Arabic. So I was just coming home from Riyadh. We're launching the beauty company in Saudi. So it's a big challenge, but I love challenge.
And you started out when you were 14?
Yes, I started the blog when I was 14, the first company when I was 16. I moved out, lived by myself as a 14-year-old. So I've always been running companies. But for the first time, actually, we're growing with the employees. So last year we was 20 employees. Today we're 40 in only 1 year. So it's quite tough to grow within an organization so fast. But it's also fantastic.
Elina, you were a scientist at CERN finding particles?
Yes.
Things that the team won Nobel Prize for later on. You don't have to go to detail in that, but you were there. You have the coolest job as a researcher. How come you quit that and then become an entrepreneur? And what is Natural Cycles?
So Natural Cycles is the only certified contraceptive app that exists. And indeed, I was a particle physicist, and I was part of the team at CERN that discovered the Higgs particle that led to the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2013. Not for us, but for the theoreticians that predicted the Higgs particle.
I'm pretty sure I'm not smartest on this stage.
Yeah, and then I used my knowledge in advanced mathematics and statistics to create the algorithm behind Natural Cycles because of the unmet need me and my husband, who's also my co-founder, had for a natural, effective birth control method. So the algorithm, what it does is it analyzes women's body temperature to pinpoint when they are fertile and when they are not fertile, which is the most important for contraception.
And sort of give us a sense of scale. You just raised capital the other week or a couple of weeks ago. How much did you raise?
$30 million, so 250 million SEK.
And it's growing like wildfire.
It's growing very fast. It's very exciting. Just like Isabella, we're now, or Isabella's companies, we're now 40 people, and we were also just 20 in the beginning of the year. So it's an exciting journey.
And you're also a seed investor in Natural Cycles, right?
I invested 2-3 years ago.
It's really long time ago.
Yes, but the company is new. And I also used it because I was having a hard time with to get pregnant the other time. So I used Natural Cycles and it worked. So, yeah.
Jobandtalent, you also have really impressive growth. First of all, tell me what the company is doing, and then we can look at some of the sort of numbers.
We are an on-demand staffing marketplace. Our mission as a company is to make the labor market more liquid and transparent. And for that, we're helping both employers and workers to connect with each other. So for the workers or candidates, we have developed an app that for them is quite easy to find the jobs and discover the jobs that are close to them, get into those jobs, apply to them, go to interviews, and then even sign the contract into the app. And for the employers, it's a very easy tool to do massive recruitment, to have 50 recruits in just a couple of hours or a couple of days, and then control the payroll, all the bureaucratic stuff, and taxes and everything through our platform.
Somebody described you as you're powering the gig economy. So if Uber wants 50 Uber drivers in Mora in 2 hours, you could figure, so you power all the guys that are going to use a network of people to work. Is that?
Yes, actually, that's actually one of the things that we do. But we also work with, what we're seeing in general in the market is that all the big corporates and the labor market is moving for higher flexibility. You see examples like IKEA, for example, acquiring TaskRabbit, in the end. There is a lot of, what companies want to do is to control the demand peaks with a much more flexible workforce. So in that context, a tool like the one that we have developed fit perfectly that demand on the market.
And give us some sense of scale. How much have you grown the last 18 months?
Yes, in the last 18 months, we came from launching the model to be doing right now 80 million of run rate.
80 million euros
80 million
in 18
euros,
months,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, hats off for that. Very well done. Veronica.
Yes.
You started a number of companies, and many of them because you saw that there was a problem in the market, something that needed to be fixed. Could you tell about your companies, and also how come you started as an entrepreneur?
Yes. The biggest company I started when I was 19 years old is for help people with disability, what's born with disability like myself, but also people or young people or children. So the life has changed, like an accident or something else, and then we help to get personal assistance.
Yeah.
And for education them and traveling and get the meaning of the life when the life has changed. And we help these people, the life has changed forever. It's not temporary. So we have to think about all the puzzles to get a contour of the life.
And how many people are employed through your companies now?
CH Assistans, the biggest, we are now 1,000 people, personal assistants.
So 1,000
Yes.
in this one company.
They working during night and day, all in Sweden.
And what did you
Going back.
and what made you become an entrepreneur?
How?
No, how come you become an entrepreneur?
My mother and my father are entrepreneurs, so I get it from the kitchen table, I think. And then me and my sister, we start when we were small to sell everything, toys, and we painting and baking and so on. And on this way, we see new ideas. So we work together, me and my sister today also.
So we have a very experienced and successful panel. What I want to know is, what are some of your best tricks or rules of thumbs or for growing the business? What are things that if there's a button that's growth, what does it say on that? Elina, you're smiling. What are you thinking?
Well, fortunately, there is no button. That would be amazing. I would push it. No, but for us, it's a lot about trust. As a contraceptive medical device, we have to gain women's trust. That's the biggest challenge for us to convert users and also to retain users. So when we got the certification in the beginning of the year as the first contraceptive app, that was a huge growth factor for us, as well as keep publishing clinical studies. So today we published 3 clinical studies. The last one is the largest clinical study ever performed on natural contraception, where we show on more than 22,000 women that the effectiveness of method is actually comparable to the pill, but without any side effects. So always reinforcing the trust is what is important for us to grow.
Isabella?
The most important thing for us is within the organization, and that is to keep, give the courage to all the employees to make quick decisions, because it's so easy when you're growing from 20 to 40 that everything stops and you're going to ask your boss about everything. So quick decisions, and how do you like keep that going? And I think you need two things, because when you're going from a quite the people that work for us have been at our company for like 1 year, and how can they make a quick decision because they don't have the knowledge yet? So then they only can rely on their gut feeling, and then it's hard. So then you need two things. You need a great vision, and you need a strong culture in the company. Because if we can build a big vision, that everybody, the 40 people knows how to, where we're going in the company, and the culture is very strong, then it's easier for them to use their gut feeling. So like quick decisions, and give a lot of courage to the employees to rely on their gut feeling.
Juan?
For us, the key was say no to things. It's like, actually, we understood that it's very hard to do more than 2 to 3 things in a company that is growing. And we just reduced the 3 things that we're doing to just giving an amazing service, being super cost efficient, and then acquiring new customers. So, but we went quite far on that implication, because we're saying no to things like, for example, PR. We don't have time to go and speak with the press. It's like,
So you have a not to-do list.
yes, it's like we are being super focused on those 3 things, and anything that is not one of those 3 things, we just don't do it, you know. And that has been key to maintain the focus and to expand the business in multiple cities, you know, because everyone knows that those are the 3 things that have to be done, you know. So anything that, if someone is suggesting to do another thing, we just ask, is that related with the 3 things that we have to do to grow the business to where we want to be in 1 year time? And that has been super helpful.
Well, yeah, I asked you how you build sort of a happy organization, and you said short term or long term, and I said short term. You said give them chocolate. But how do you build a culture in your companies? What do you think the key components are for building a successful company?
I think it's a different point. One point is to know the destination. You have to have your map, because well, for example, when you drive the car, you're not only going to the car and you don't know where you're going to. So every time you have to know the destination where you're going to. And then you have to understand that the way of life, that is not a line. You cannot think that if you think that you have the heart on the pulse, then you have to be scared and the line goes straight, because then we are dead. So we have to understand it go up and down, up and down, up and down the whole time, and also understand that focus for the solution, because many of us focus so much on the problem, but how many can see the solution and give time for the solution and not give so much time for discussing the problem? We have to come over the problem and come to discuss the solution of the problem.
But do you think, so if I've started 22 companies, 4 of them have gone bankrupt and died, luckily a long time ago, and I've had problems with all the children. Some of them have been quite successful, but I was asked if I would start again if I knew what I was up against, and I probably said, no, I wouldn't do it. I'll just, you know, do you feel the same way? Do you think it's psychologically, is it easy to be an entrepreneur, or is it tough? Because almost everybody I meet, they're like, and they're stressing and they're worrying about the business and so forth, but they're also quite happy in a sense. Could you reflect on that?
I don't see it in up and downs. I just see it as my passion, and I'm just going to continue doing this for the entire life. So it's bigger than ups and downs for me.
I think it's super tough sometimes. For me, I really, with Natural Cycles, we had really ups and downs. And it's interesting how it can really go from an up to a down in sometimes just 24 hours. You know, you feel like, okay, now I'm on the top of the world. Nothing can go wrong. Like, the world is ours. And then you get like a email that you really don't want the next day. And you're like, shit, I have to fight this again. So I can really identify with that.
I got the best advice. .com crash, $5 trillion evaporated on the stock exchange, only in the US. My hair turned gray in 6 months. Everything I believed in seemed to be wrong. Internet was just like a fluga. And you know, it was tough days. And then I had a colleague saying, come on, man, smile, it's only work. I thought that felt really good.
Yeah, it's a total roller coaster. I think that you have to be super motivated for the mission of the company. I had another experience of a company. It was not a success. Actually, I failed with that. And one of the reasons why I failed it was because I didn't have enough energy, because I was not believing so much on the mission itself of the company. It was a good business, but not the thing that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. That I think is quite crucial to keep on you going on those really bad moments that represent most of your life as an entrepreneur, to be honest.
So but if you would, and we're always running out of time here because we have so much fun up on stage, but I just want to have a snapshot of where do you think your company is in 5 years? What is your group of companies, Veronica, in 5 years?
Oh, it depends on the politics system in Sweden. We are really, really need of the politics system. And now the system in Sweden, we have the minister yesterday go out and said they're going to change the rules for October 2018. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen for people with personal assistant next year. So we hope that the politics system really understand how important this is for the most people with big disability to have personal assistant. And we really hope that Sweden not go back to big build institutions again, because we have taken away the most of the institutions 20 years ago. And now we really have to fighting for the personal assistant can develop and not go back. So this we're working really hard for now.
5 years from now.
We see ourselves being one of the top 5 biggest staffing firms in the world, actually being one of the biggest payroll management companies in the world.
Elina?
Well, in 5 years, we want to have established ourselves as a global leader in digital contraception, as well as really the place where research happens to bring women's reproductive health forward.
And you, yeah. Isabella?
The big goal is to become a new Estée Lauder, and she built her company in 35 years, and I think we can do it in the half time because everything is so more fast now. But in 5 years, we'll continue the global journey. Last week, when I was in Saudi, we were talking with the government because they have a new VC fund that we're helping women to start their companies over there. So I'm going to be there and help them create and build new companies. So like a bigger company, but also help other women around the world to have the courage to start companies.
And you're starting another company, something together with somebody that we know here from Sime as well, and who sits at Epicenter. So I'm gonna. You said you wanted to invite him up, so I want to hear what you're starting. Linus, welcome up on stage, and we have a microphone. Come, Isabella, come.
Hi.
Long hair, casual look. You must be a programmer. So what are you guys doing?
Right, so we started in Nordic Tech House basically to help other entrepreneurs. Isabella is a great entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 5-6 years. So Nordic Tech House will basically help build and support digital business, where we will invest in startups and help them to scale, basically, what this is all about. So we will invest with resources and exposure, and also we have a lot of co-investors that want to go in with us, and we have an exclusive collab with founded by me, so we also will be able to help them with crowdfunding using Isabella's channels.
But how would that work in practice? I come as a startup, you could put...
It's when you're an entrepreneur today, it's quite easy to get money to your company, but it's hard with the support on everything from the idea till a finished company. So basically, Nordic Tech House is helping with everything around your idea. So you can only be the creative entrepreneur, and we're helping you with everything else.
So you could develop, you could put media, you could put money.
We have a lot of developers within. So yeah, we're gonna create and help to support the entrepreneur. So it's very, very fun.
And from when are you open to business?
Today.
Today.
So good. So thank you very much. Nordic Tech House. We'll see and hear much more about you, I think.
You will, for sure.
And thank you very much also for coming here and inspiring us all. It is wonderful to see that crazy spark in the eyes of everybody that builds great companies. So thank you very much. Now we